Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Let's talk about Solomon Dacres, British heavyweight, 29 years of age, former member of the GB team, the amateur team. I think he won the British Nationals in 2017, got a gold medal. But look, I can only tell you what I'm looking at or how I interpret it. And to put it, at best, the jury's still out against this guy because I'm not seeing anything in his professional career that makes me think he can rip up any trees. He fought a guy called CHRIS Thompson, who apparently is the South African heavyweight champ. The days of Johnny Deploy and Pierre Kutz are over clearly because they were pretty good fighters. CHRIS Thompson is nowhere near that calibre, and Dacres won a 12-round decision over him. He moves to 7-0 with 2 KOs on his record. I didn't know anything about CHRIS Thompson other than that he was the South African champ. He won that 3 fights ago. In 2022 he beat a guy who was 9-5, outputting him over 12. Since then he's lost by 6-round stoppage, losing that title, I think. Actually, yeah, he has lost. I'll stand corrected. He's not the South African champion. He lost that title to a guy called Gomez, Keaton Gomez, I think the guy's name is. Again, not someone I know much about. He lost it on a 6-round TKO. Then he went over to Russia for Evgeny Romanov and lost an 8-round decision. So yeah, let me correct myself. He was the South African champ and is no longer because he got knocked out. Okay, so with 12 wins, 7 KOs, 4 defeats, 2 of them by KO and 1 draw coming in, you'd think CHRIS Thompson is the type of guy that Solomon Dacres should be walking through. And especially with those 2 defeats, those 2 KO defeats on his record. He's lost his last 2. And Dacres, given the fanfare, he's signed to Matchroom, he's on DAZN. This was on the Next Gen card with Tommy Frank and Yafai. No, I just wasn't impressed, I'm afraid. At first, I mean, look, Dacres is an orthodox fighter, 6'5". Thompson looked maybe an inch taller, southpaw. And clearly Dacres so conservative with his output and so unimaginative in his work. He came out, I think in the first round he landed the better of the punches. I give him that round, but there was a jab by Thompson that landed flush, and there's no doubt that when Dacres did land his jab, it was so much more powerful. When he let his hands go, he looked clearly the more refined, the better schooled and the more talented fighter. In the second round he actually shook Thompson quite badly, and he did so again in the fourth, but he was just not doing enough. With a guy like this, you should be smashing through him, you should be making a statement. Don't forget, Dacres is in a domestic division where he's got, Fraser Clark and Fabio Wardley and, a few others who are coming through. He's got to do more. He's got to take the chance. He's on DAZN, he's got to make a statement. And his work, it was just so uninspiring. And in the middle rounds, he allowed Thompson to crawl back into the fight and to get a little bit of ambition. And in fact, Thompson was landing, I can't remember which round, but he landed another very good jab. He landed a couple of backhands that were very good, that hit Dacres pretty much flush. He landed one particular backhand to the body that was really good. So Dacres, through inactivity and through allowing Thompson to get some ambition and some confidence, he was allowing the guy to sort of start to settle down and mentally start thinking about what he was doing. And Thompson, although very limited as a fighter, was, he was making an effort. He was having a scrap with Dacres, trying to drag him in. He wasn't going to match him for in terms of talent, but he was trying to win the fight. And this should really have been a 2 or 3 rounder for Dacres if he's going places. There's really no excuse for not containing a guy of this level. So in the middle rounds, he kind of let it float away from him a little bit. Like I say, this was a 10 rounder. Then in the sort of 8th, 9th, 10th, he kind of picked it up. He sort of woke up a bit, Dacres. And even though Thompson was still there fighting away and doing his damnedest, Dacres, I thought, took those rounds. I had it 97-93 to Dacres. 2 of the judges, I think, had it 99-91, and one had it 98-92, I think. Okay, I had it a little bit closer than they did, but whatever the case, clearly Dacres won, but whatever the case, he's got to do better than this. He's got to do better. In his previous fight, I mean, he's English champion, Dacres. He beat Robert Ismay, a 35-year-old heavy from the northeast, who'd had, I think, 11 fights coming in about 12 years, and 6 of those years were inactive. He's 35. He got done in 2 rounds. So that was kind of a gimme for the English title for Dacres. But before that, he fought a journeyman called Ariel Bracamonte. And Bracamonte, when he goes in with anyone half decent, gets stopped. There's no doubt about it. And then he beat, I mean, that was a unanimous decision, 10 rounds. Then before that, he beat Kevin Espindola over 8 rounds. Espindola came with a 7-4 record. Dacres isn't doing enough. He's got to do more to impress. And I would not pick him over Wardley, over Fraser. I'll tell you, a good fight for Dacres, a good matchup would be Johnny Fisher. Fisher's got the Southern Area belt. Dacres has got the English. Put them together, see what we get. But I'll tell you what, Fisher might do him. It'd be a good fight, I think, because they're both at the same point of their career, even though Fisher's a lot younger. But at 29, with his background, I expect more from Dacres. I expect more urgency, I expect more imagination, I expect a higher output of punches, and I expect a bigger variety of punches. And I expect more urgency, more desire, more motivation, more verve. We're not seeing it, to be honest. Leave your comments below, tell me what you think. As usual, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the like button, much appreciated. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing, and I'll answer your comments. Bye for now.